Welcome to A Beer with Brad, Episode 7. Tonight I'm going to talk about some of my challenges when it comes to photography. But first, the beer. For tonight I'm having a Prost, a German-style Festa beer, basically an Oktoberfest beer. Today is the beginning of September, so it's Oktoberfest season. Oktoberfests are just a good, light, easy drinking beer. I mean, there's a ton of flavor in there. It's more flavor than a lager, but it's a nice, easy drinking beer. And it's one of, I don't know, I think it's because it only comes out for a short time each year. I mean, I always look forward to it. It's a refreshing change, I guess, from a lot of the real hoppy IPAs and the dark stouts that I normally drink. So, yeah, I really do enjoy it. This particular Oktoberfest or German-style Festa beer comes from White Elm Brewing down in Lincoln. White Elm is one of my two favorite breweries in Lincoln. Boiler Brewing and White Elm are pretty much everyone's two favorites in Lincoln, even though there's some others that do a really good job and have a lot of really good beers, and there's a lot of new ones down there. There's I think 2 new ones since the last time I was down there that I haven't been to yet, so need to get back down to Lincoln, check out the new ones, and then stop by White Elm and Boiler, pick up some beers and bring back to Omaha with me. White Elm is probably most known for either their dark stouts. They have a lot of interesting stouts, different flavors, and then I think the last one I had from there was something about, it was like a brownie batter flavored stout. It was really good. And then they do also several different IPAs that are really good. So tonight's Oktoberfest, a lot lighter than some of those beers, lower in the ABV too usually than those. This one's 6%, so nice, light, easy drinking. Cheers, or I guess in German for Oktoberfest you say Prost. I should hold it by the handle, but some of these big mugs, it's just easier to hold the whole thing there. So that's a liter. I actually had to pour 2 of these cans in here to make it look full. So all for the effect of the video. Coming up this next weekend, the weekend after Labor Day, is the 50th annual Rockbrook Village Art Fair. Rockbrook Village Art Fair is probably, I think it's the biggest one around here. I think a lot of people assume the downtown, the big summer arts festival, is the biggest and best and oldest, but it is actually neither the oldest nor the biggest. Rockbrook Village has both of those titles. The downtown one has a lot more attractions and other events besides just artists, where this is more strictly just an art festival. But I always look forward to it. It's always beautiful weather. I mean, that second weekend of September is just, usually the heat's gone by then and the humidity's way down by then, and it's usually a perfect weekend to get out and enjoy. There's always so many people there, so many great things, great artists, and it just attracts people from all over. So it's a great art fair. I'm really looking forward to it. I got about 60 prints over here that I have on boards and bagged up. I still have to seal them up and put price tags on them. In the other room I have a frame I'm building for a picture that I need to finish that up. I screwed up. I accidentally, the router bit came loose when I was routering out the inside where the picture would sit, and so I went right through the side of the wood. So I need to get one more piece of wood and recut one of the sides and get that together and stained. And I don't really frame hardly any pictures. It's been a long time since I framed pictures, but I had a couple older pictures that were mounted and matted, and I built some frames for those a couple years ago, and they actually turned out pretty good. I mean, if you were a woodworker, you'd probably pick out lots of flaws, but to me, hanging on the wall, they're pretty cool. I think I did a pretty decent job. And so then now I have a picture that at the last art fair, it fell off the wall, and I don't know how, if it got bumped and I just didn't notice that it was just barely hanging there, or if some, like, the wind blew it just wrong. I don't think it wasn't that windy, but so it's a metal print, and it has a teeny tiny little chip in the corner. It's just enough on a metal print where it stands out. So I'm going to build a frame for it, and you won't ever notice it. And I'm hopefully not deceiving anyone doing it that way, but most pictures are framed in or most prints that are framed, overlap the edge of the picture by a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 inch all the way around. So to me, this is the same thing, no big deal. I'm not gonna sell someone a damaged picture, but I can't also just throw a print away for a little chip in the corner or a metal print. That's a lot of money out of my pocket that would go in the trash if I did that. So I'm gonna frame it. It's gonna look really cool. It's gonna be different because it is a metal print that's framed, so you'll have that shiny, really awesome picture there with no glass or anything in front of it. You'll just have the wooden. I'm gonna do like probably a lighter gray or a medium gray color. The wood is pine, so no knots in it, but it does have some. You can see the green in there, so it should be a pretty cool look when I'm done. I'm hoping so. Probably get that wrapped up this weekend, and maybe I'll post a picture on social media and see what y'all think. But so the Rockbrook Art Fair, not Labor Day weekend. It's the weekend after September. I want to say that's the 11th and 12th. But just the weekend after Labor Day, Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 5, both days. It's a great turnout, or a great event. You should check it out. I'm in a different spot this year. I am all the way at the very far west end, so I'm going to be all the way, like as far as you can get from 108th Street, where you turn into Rockford Village. But I'm on the end, which is cool because I'll have an extra side, so that was one of the other reasons to get that print frame too. Is instead of just having my 3 walls inside the tent, I will also have the outside on the west end of the tent where I'll be able to hang pictures too. So it's always a bonus when you get an end spot. You get to throw up a few more pictures, and I always try to put some things out there that catch people's eye when they're walking from the parking lot up to the art fair and kind of drag them over there. So. Other than that, not much since the last video. I went to Michigan, had a little family vacation. I didn't really take any pictures there except for with a few cool storms that rolled in off Lake Michigan, so I took a couple lightning photos. They were, I don't know, kind of neat. I have a couple star pictures too I'm going to look at here. I haven't even downloaded those off my camera yet, I don't think. So see if I could capture the Milky Way. We were on the shore of Lake Michigan, and even I think they said it was 17 or 27 miles across Lake Michigan, the light pollution at that distance from Chicago and Milwaukee. You can stand where we were and see Chicago just to the left, Milwaukee just to the right, and their light pollution is really bad. So I'm not sure how well the Milky Way is going to show up, but one of these days when I get a little free time, that's my plan. So my biggest challenge with photography is finding the time to do it. When I first got into photography, I was a young single guy with really not much going on. I had a job and that was about it, and pretty much come home from work and I change my clothes and I grab the camera and I go out and take pictures. All evening I go out and take pictures, and on the weekends I get up, probably go take some pictures, come home, do things around the house, get the artwork done or whatever, and then I'd probably go out in the afternoon, maybe take a few more pictures. And then I go eat dinner, do whatever, and then a lot of times in the evening, I go back out and take more pictures. And I was always out taking pictures all the time. And now I have a full-time job, I have a family, and I can't do that anymore. I feel like I get out maybe, if I'm lucky, once a week to take pictures anymore. And it's hard too, because that not only do I not have much time, I've actually grown like the number of people, the clients, so to speak, that want me to photograph for them. So a lot of times when I do find the free time to get out, I'm out doing photos for other people. And while that's great, and I really appreciate people hiring me to take pictures for them, it's really cutting into the time I want to get out and do my photos, explore, see the city, photograph the city lights at night, get out, go on a hike, explore the nature areas and find cool new pictures, or wait on that hill for the perfect sunset. And it's frustrating, there's nights that I'm upset, nights that I'm mad, there's nights where I just try not to look outside, and all I want to do is just go take pictures, and I have priorities that don't let me do that anymore. And the good thing is I do keep my priorities right, families first, work second, and then I do have the photography third. But it's weird that I'm in this position in my life where people are like, man, if I had the money to buy this camera, I would totally go get this camera right now. Or if I could go afford this lens, I get this lens right now. If I could take my money and buy more time, I would totally do that. But, that's not an option. You can't buy more hours in the day. I always joke around and say that, if there's 24 hours in a day and I really need about 30 to get everything done that I need to get done. So it's kind of tough, especially, right now I'm trying to finish up everything for the art fair. So that's kind of chewing into some of my free time. At least that stuff I can do at night after dark outside. I'm not really missing out on any photography time. But my biggest challenge, like I said, is the just not having the time to go out and do it. I really miss getting out and photographing sunset. I really feel like I need to get out and update my skyline pictures. Omaha's changing so much all the time, and I really want to keep my skyline pictures up to date, and I don't really think I've taken very many this year. And the other hard thing too is, most of my skyline pictures are taken within an hour before or after sunset. And with little kids, that's, except for about 2 months a year, that's bedtime when you're getting the kids baths and getting stories read and getting them in bed. So it's really hard. And then pretty soon it'll be dark, when I leave work, so that makes it hard too. So time, I wish I could find more time. Wish I could get more. A 30-hour day would be great, so I could get more done. Of course, then I'd probably want to sleep more, but sleep some other time. My second biggest challenge with photography is not having a gallery space anymore. So this goes back to time too, when before we had kids, I was in a couple different galleries in the old market, co-op galleries, where I had a dedicated space on the wall where my pictures hung all the time, year round. And then I worked once a week. And that was great because, if someone calls me now and they want to see a picture or want to see a material, like, what's the difference between a metal print and a canvas print or acrylic print? I could just send it on the gallery and say, they're all on the wall, there's one of each down there, you could go see, you can see the different sizes, you can buy the loose prints. But now I don't have that space because I cannot, afford the time to spend, 5 hours every Saturday down working at a gallery. So it's really hard when someone calls and wants to see something. It's almost like, all right, I gotta, take the decorations off the kitchen table, lay out my prints on the kitchen table, invite strangers to my house, which since COVID happened, I haven't done that at all. But before COVID, I would invite people over, and then you have people you don't know coming into your house looking at prints, and it's just it's a tough. So while the first two challenges were more life related, the next two challenges are actual photo related. So those of you that are more interested in photography, my two biggest challenges when it comes to actually when I'm out shooting, the things I run into the most is composition, judging my composition in the field, and then taking care of my equipment in the field. The second one should be a no-brainer, but I'll explain that in a minute. So I'm my own worst critic when it comes to looking at my photography. When I'm sitting here looking at a print or, on the computer screen, it takes me like 2 seconds to say, like, man, I wish I would have moved my camera 2 feet to the left, or man, I wish I would have lowered my camera down just a few inches. And those slight little adjustments you don't think would be a big deal, but they really are. When you're doing a landscape photo or a cityscape photo, and you just move a couple inches left or right or up or down, it can really affect the composition. Making two buildings that are really close to each other overlap or further apart, or two going up and down, you can do the same thing. Just getting everything spaced out just right, or getting separation between objects so you could have a leading line into it. There's just a lot of little things that when I look at it big, I see it, but when I'm in the field looking through a little viewfinder, for some reason I just miss some of these things. I don't know if it's just the small size of it or just that there's so much going on, but I really am bad at composing items in the field and like getting things dialed in exactly how I want it. When I get back, the picture's good, but I just feel it could be this much better or this much better if I would have just moved a little bit left or right, and I don't know why I don't see that. It's kind of frustrating, and just the other day I was editing a photo and it was the same thing. Like, it's been going on for years. I don't know why I can't just, it's the picture I'm going to frame that I'm building a frame for right now. if I would have moved the camera down about a foot, right now it has this beautiful mountain range, and then it has this green middle ground, and then it has these awesome sand dunes in the foreground. Well, if I would have moved down, it would have taken that green middle ground, and instead of being like a third of the picture or a quarter of the picture, I could have squished that down by moving the camera down, and it would have been way less of the picture. So I would have had more of the cool sand dunes and more of the awesome mountains with the sunrise above it, instead of having this kind of ugly green desert, nothingness in the middle. So it's one of those things like I need to study my picture a little harder and maybe look at it 2 or 3 times and just really say, all right, is there anything that you would like out of there? Is there anything that you don't want? And just get better at it. I think it is. I just get so excited when the light's happening and the scene's cool, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And when I'm actually back home looking at it on the computer or looking at a print, I start to I slow down and I look at it, and I actually start seeing the things that I miss out in the field. And just slowing down and spending time out when I'm out there and studying things, I think could really help. And then also slowing down when I'm out there would help me take better care of my equipment. I have amazing equipment. I have awesome Canon equipment. I have, we've gone through all this. You've seen all of it. But I think every lens I own but one has some sort of minor, a little scratch in it. And it's bad because 99% of those times, that scratch doesn't affect anything. You'll never notice it. You'll never see it. But if you're out shooting low light and you're shooting and there's a bright light in the picture, or you're shooting into the sunset, that little tiny scratch will catch the light and it could ruin a picture, or it could just make a very distracting, like orb or whatever in your picture. And it's frustrating because it seems to always happen when I least expect it or when I'm not paying attention. And a lot of times you can compensate by, again, moving the camera a few inches or just turning it just a little bit so the light isn't hitting that scratch. But I should be taking better care of my equipment and slowing down, and then just putting my lens caps on and putting my camera bag or my camera equipment back in the bag when I'm moving. What happens is I'll be out, be on the side of a mountain or whatever, and the sun will come down, and all of a sudden the cloud will light up over this way, and I need to run 10 feet down the mountain, and I'll throw my camera bag on, and I'll just carry my camera on the tripod and just run through a group of trees. I'll just run and hope the lens is pointing the right direction, but it's not always. And if I'm out shooting sports and something's happening and I'm trying to do something quick, change lenses real quick, a lot of times I'll just take the lens off and I'll set it down, like at a baseball stadium. I'll just set the lens down on the ground with no lens cap on it and no rear cap on it either sometimes. So all that dirt, dust, everything, don't worry, it's all going in the lens. And I'll just hurry up, switch lenses, take the picture, and then sometimes I'll switch the lens back and then I'll put everything back the way it is. Sometimes I'll just throw the lens back in the bag and then move, get the next picture, and it's like at the end of the day I get done and I'm looking and all my equipment is just everywhere with no caps on it. Luckily the inside of the bag is clean and there's nothing in the bag that should scratch it, but I'm not careful with my stuff. I really need to focus on being careful with my stuff. I work hard to get the great equipment, and then I use it and abuse it, and it's not the best thing. So the only other minor challenges I have when it comes to photography is I stress for a long time about how to price stuff. Whether it be prints I got pretty dialed in. I take the cost times my time, add a little markup for profit, and then that's the print price. So it's most of the prints are dependent on what they cost me. Is what I just have a little formula to work up to what I actually charge. But when it comes to photo shoots, it's hard because every photo shoot's just a little different. People's expectations are different. A lot of times you go into a scene expecting one thing and it's a little bit different, or you you know, if I'm out shooting something outside, I try to look at it in Google, and I think the light's going to be good this time, and it's not good this time. So then, you know, then I'm going home and then coming back at a different time, and I really struggle at setting my prices. And part of the struggle is I don't want to offend people. I mean, I don't want to like completely give them ridiculous prices, but I also want to be fair to me and fair to other photographers. You know, my prices are, I think, are in the middle of the road of other photographers. I don't want to be lowballing people. I don't want to be bringing the, you know, it's nice for me because I have the full-time job. I don't need my prices to like pay my bills. But I also don't, I have a lot of good friends that are professional photographers that do it 24/7. That is their job, that is their living. And I don't want to undercut the market. I don't want to undercut them. I want to keep it, you know, fair for everyone. So I really struggle to make it affordable for, you know, the people buying the product, make it fair for the people that I'm, you know, friends that are in the business. And it's always, I don't know, I'm not good at it. I stress about it. Someone calls me and asks me for, you know, a price for doing something. A lot of times I'll just say, can I get your email? And I'll think about it and I'll get back to you. And then I sit here for hours, think, like, what should I charge them? Something simple that I've done many times. I don't know. So one final challenge I have is keeping up with technology, both hardware and software. I have a computer that, it's not that old. I mean, it is old in technology years, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel like it's still a new computer, and it's not. And I cannot edit these videos anymore on that computer. I have to do it on a laptop. I cannot use Lightroom on that computer. I can get about 1 or 2 photos in before it just starts like grinding to a halt, and I just can't go any further with it. And I can barely use Photoshop on it anymore. And most of the issues with the computer come to a video card that I don't have in there. So I am looking to get a new computer, and that's one of those things with, I need time to do that because there's so many different variables and things to look at. And it's like, I can't just take Adobe's specs into a computer store anymore and say, I'd like a computer that has all this, because, you know, there's not really dedicated computer stores like there used to be. Or, you know, even I don't know that I feel like going into a chain store here in town and buying it. And, you know, we do have the Mart here, which, you know, I could go in, but a lot of the specs that I need for, you know, running the Adobe products, you're going to get into a gaming computer, and then I worry about the gaming computers. Do they adjust automatically to try to make the video games the best? So I'm worried about the graphics. You know, even my laptop is a gaming laptop. And alright, sorry about the delay. I had the camera stopped on me because I've been talking too long apparently. But what I'm saying is I have a gaming laptop, and the laptop adjusts for what's on the screen and adjusts for what's in the room, and I haven't been able to figure out how to shut that off. But, you know, with a photo, I want my screen calibrated. I want to put my calibration unit on the screen, calibrate it so it's exactly how I want it, and I don't want that computer trying to adjust, you know, like it would for a video game. So it's tough. I just don't want to go buy a video game setup, gaming computer, you know, which has all the video cards and the RAM and everything to generate those graphics, and then have it trying to think it's smarter than me, and then and adjusting, and I can't have it do that. So I need to spend the time. I need to find time, spend the time, and go get a new computer and get it exactly dialed in how I need it to. And I think actually if I had a new computer that ran efficiently, I would have more time, because right now I spend a lot of time waiting for things to load and, you know, photos to save. So that's, as soon as the art fair's over, I think the computer's on the agenda, or at least on the short list. So, well, thanks for tuning into the video tonight. I hope you're enjoying an Oktoberfest beer too. September's a great time, not only for photography, but also for beer festivals, all the Oktoberfest celebrations out there. So hopefully you get out, shoot some photos as the days start to get a lot nicer, and, you know, by the end of September, we should start seeing some leaves change and cooler nights and all the humidity gone. Hopefully the forest fires in California can get under control pretty soon. Hopefully they get some rain, because I don't know about where you're at, but here in Omaha it is smoky. Smoke is leaving California and going up almost to the Canadian border over Montana, and then down through the Dakotas, right through Omaha and into Missouri. So like tonight, we should have had a perfectly blue sky, and it was just like this hazy brownish orange, and you could stare right at the sun at sunset. It was this big orange ball right on the horizon, and just smoke everywhere. So hopefully by the end of the month we'll get to beautiful fall weather with blue skies, bright colored leaves, and great temperatures. So thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I will see you all at the Rockbrook Village Art Fair the weekend after Labor Day. And if you want to come by and check out the pictures, great. I'm not expecting anyone to buy anything. If you want to come talk photography, stop by, say hi, ask questions, it'd be great to see everyone. So thanks for tuning in, and have a great evening.